Whoa, what you gonna do when you're waiting for Jesus? What you gonna do waiting for Jesus to come? What you gonna do when you wait for Jesus? If he says, I never knew you. What you gonna do if Jesus comes? What you gonna do if it doesn't? What you gonna do if Jesus comes? What you gonna do if Jesus don't? Oh, oh. Hey, hey. Well, anyway, what if Jesus came back in 1979? Yeah, well, let me tell you a little story. I was waiting for Jesus to come back in 1979. And what the heck happened to my voice? Oh, hello, Archbishop Richard Forskin here. You coming up? Never mind. So I was just watching a little video. It had an old video. It had some Christians debating with Deepak, the Dr. Chapak or something, the guy was a spiritual, guru type guy, So these Christians were arguing, these two Christians, and they sounding so righteous about the Lord, and Deepak didn't agree with him on the scriptures. Anyway, it came to they're praising old Paul, and Paul wouldn't have did this and that, and he was. Let me tell you about something about Paul. Paul was the first Benny Sin, or Benny Hinn, as you know, Benny Hinn. Paul was the first Benny Hinn of Christianity, as far as I can tell. But anyway, I left a comment. I said, since they know so much about Paul, and Paul was this, and Paul was that. Paul was in prison at the time, they said. I said, what did Paul, since they said that we know this, what did Paul eat in prison? And how often? What kind of bed did he sleep in? And how often? How many hours of sleep did he get? And such. See, all these things, if you really know the lifestyle of Paul, you don't know anything about each other today. And you're real people. Well, it wasn't written down. There's hardly anything written down. Everything is blown up by your one-eyed farmer. Everything is blown up by your one-eyed farmer pastors. Yes, they're fleecing you continually, generation after generation. Now get yourselves into shape. Up here. What you gonna do when Jesus comes? What you gonna do if he doesn't? What are you gonna do? Because see, I was waiting for him back in 1979 while I was on soul-winning missions. Yes, knocking on doors, thousands of doors. Hello, Archbishop Richard Forskin. As a teenager. Yeah, what do you want? Do you know where you're going when you die? Hell no, and he slammed the door. He slammed the door on me, I said, well, we showed him, we'll kick the dust off our feet, just like they said in the Bible. Kick the dust off our feet. He'll remember us on Judgment Day as he's about to be thrown into the lake of fire. Ah! So anyway, when you go, people start reading your scriptures. Jesus is not coming back in this time or any other time. He was talking to, who was he talking to? You believe the Bible, don't you? Jesus was talking to the people that asked him when his coming was. That was his disciples. And he answered, his disciples. And he also said to continue preaching. And by the time you get done preaching throughout Jerusalem, I will have returned. Yes, it says this in your Bible. I believe that one's in Mark. A little rusty. Anyway, get that notification off my screen, Satan. I saw that. It's gone now. It fled from me. Demons will flee. What you gonna do when Jesus comes? Don't you see? The book of Revelation and all the other things that supposedly have to do with prophecies are conveniently recyclable. Why are they recyclable? To keep you on the hamster wheel of indoctrination, or the pickle jars of indoctrination. Pickle jars. Sealed the lid on real tight, them farmers did. They put you in it. Well, you jumped in yourself. When you ask Jesus into your heart, you're really asking not Jesus, you're asking a demon, something that will control you. Into the pickle jar here, we're going to give you the juice, and your pastor's going to tell you what it all means, and they seal it real tight, and you're not allowed to question anything. And you continue to be pickled in the word spells. You're sitting there, they dump some more word spells in the pickle jar, seal the lid back up next Sunday, and then until you become an indoctrinated pickle Christian, thinking you're a real Christian, but you're really just pickled in doctrines. We all know this planet is turned into crap. But collectively, we have to do something about it. Divided, that's what we've become. It's pretty dumb. All divided. Atheist, religious, and so-called skeptic, all of your minds have become septic. I don't know what else to say to you people. I know a lot of you mean well, but you're almost fully pickled. Hopefully the jars of indoctrination can be broken. It's like stone soup. They fill you up with all these word spells, as in the recipe of the stone. They say this verse, say that verse. They make you stones. Put these stones in there. More stones will give it more flavor. More prayers will change God's behavior. How many prayers does God need before God moves? If a mother and father knew their child was in need, they wouldn't wait 2,000 some years if they said they were going to help them soon. You're reading old newspapers. Old newspaper. Here you go, right here. There's the Revised Standard. I don't care if it's King James. Bible study? What do you have to Bible? Well, you have to study it. Just read it honestly. As if you picked it up fresh and found it and questioned what you were reading. But no, you've already been indoctrinated from the pastors in your childhood, or from churches that you've come accustomed to. And the way pastors speak, they're motivational speakers, and this is a book, a lot of it is quotes that we all would like to hear the goodness in some of them. Some good things in there, but the rest are war stories about killing in the name of God, whatever God that was at the time. When are you going to wake up, people? I mean, I try to be as nice as I can, but the Archbishop I've been through it. And when you take all the stones out of the soup, you realize the soup's just as good as you make it. You don't need their stones. It's your garden. Stop letting the farmers, the religious farmers, and all the farmers put their hybrid seeds into you. And that's what this does. Puts hybrid. You want to be a spiritual person or whatever you want to call it. Enrich your life. Grow your garden. Think for yourself. Then stop being hybridized with their hybrid word spell seeds that infect your being, your soul, your essence, your human being. The book manuals for control right in here. It's not for leaving. What they used to call it. Instructions for leaving Earth. No, it's not. Since instructions to be indoctrinated in, the more you believe them, you'll become more pickled. Well, David out there, love waves drifting. I'll do a special short one for you. This is all spontaneous. I'm getting very tired now, and I'm tired of the whole thing. I just put on the gear, and now I'm about to disappear.